question is, would you ever date someone who's had cosmetic surgery?
Yeah.
Yes.
Depends. If
What does
it's
it
right
depend on?
there, like if it's like
As
the
opposed to
nose
where?
is like, you know, if it's bad, I would like, you know, change it, fix it again. Like.
So you want to have more surgery?
He'll help her.
Not a
My
sponsor.
shit, like, I don't care. It's your body, right? You can do whatever you want with it, but it shouldn't be like out there. Like if you look good on you, then fine.
Basically, you don't want to notice that it happened.
What if
No, I
she-
can notice like come by here, you did some surgery, you look good now. But if it's bad surgery, like
It's just
wouldn't
bad
wanna,
surgery?
I wouldn't wanna date you because you had surgery. I just want to date you because you did bad surgery.
Wow.
Like that.
It's not about exaggerated assets. It's about like what's bad surgery?
As in, like the nose is, you know,
You
You
can
and
tell
the nose.
something and it went wrong.
and it went wrong. Like I'll tell
she
you
just got a couple of
fix
days on
it,
it.
like you know.
Yeah,
What
she
if their
just had
nose
a
was
couple
like
of Ds
that,
on it.
just like that, without the...
What
What
if
if
their
their
nose
nose
was
was worse?
If
Before.
Exactly.
You're born that way. You're born that way, I'll accept. But the fact that you went out of the way to fix it, it made it worse.
No, worse. Maybe it's a better version of worse. So actually, I think so for you in particular,
about
the
the
question
surgery,
is that
but-
how much does physical looks matter to
No,
you?
how much the one that not just physical. If you're born with it, I'm happy with
So
where
you
are.
can- okay,
But
so
if you
like-
went a step further to try and fix what God gave you, and you made it worse. Now I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming God. Now that's all on you. I'm not gonna.
Okay,
do this
so
because
like
it's
let's say we have two people and they're equally the same feature.
But
One
one
of them was
surgery,
natural and
yeah.
one of them was
Because you're
surgical.
natural, because you're born that way. This other, you try to fix something which was not at all like bad. I believe you're always born good, unless listen.
Everyone likes to believe that. Nah.
Listen,
For the
I
most
believe there's
part.
a purpose with the
Let's
way.
have a
that
believe
you-
third
God gave us
eye.
the
It's
ability
not
to
bad.
figure out how to do
It's
plastic
not a bad
surgery.
thing, but if you go out of your way to fix something which is not broken, and you make it broke now. why am I? Because
What if she
obviously,
actually looks good at the end of the day?
Yes.
sorry, if it looks good,
Then you're cool.
I would have dated you whether it was before or after, but if it's bad, you fucked it up because you cared too much about your.
But you're
looks
contradicting
needed.
yourself.
How?
Because it's like you just want that person to look good. That's
Yeah.
No, I'm
all.
saying.
It doesn't matter whether it was surgery or not.
My point is, I don't think it's. Maybe there are some situations where it's necessary to like have those type of surgeries, right? There are some of them where it's not really. Like maybe like my nose is like a bit like mbele kidogo. Like let me just fix it, and it's not like an issue. It's not like what you did now. You try and fix that nose, and then
I think I have a very different opinion from you. I feel like,
disagree completely.
men, generally, myself, it's a look thing. You go see her the first time, you go like, she hot. And you're going to find out, okay, the boobs are fake. But she's still hot. And you're going to talk to her and you'll be like, but the boobs are still fake. But do they feel the real ones? Maybe, maybe not. But she's hot. Once you keep that in,
was had on the other.
it's still hot. You can't have everything. You can't have the boobs, the ass, the face, everything looking perfect.
No, I'm saying after a surgery, like one boo like it was like a bad
Might
surgery.
tilt. Never know what you two did. But
But so we have a freak in our panel.
Shit, alright.
But her trying to make herself better, or you trying to make yourself a better version of who you are aesthetically, I think it's a human thing. I think we all try and do that. You go grooming every week. Why? On the chat line, you were talking about this nigga didn't cut his beard, man. What was that shit about?
But I think there's a difference between grooming
No,
and
but it's
altering
still-
your face.
It's just on a
That's
different
what I-
level.
Altering
The
your
same
face,
thing.
altering
Let's
your
say
body.
she shows you a before picture and you're like,
Okay, but
Okay.
then
Barely.
that's more telling of whatever maybe they're going through. So for instance, with you, we're talking about nose, ikos, you and Bele Kidogo, whatever. For you, it might not be a big deal because you're not in her skin, but for her, there may be like years of insecurities or maybe bullying or something someone said when she was younger that
Do you
stuck
think
with
surgery
her.
makes that go away?
It does
doesn't.
not, but
Which means
there's
there's a different
as a
issue there
human
that
being,
you
there's a
have to
certain
help.
level of empathy that you can have. If it goes right, it can help. If it goes wrong, maybe not. I mean, of course, you have to deal with your emotional issues. That's really what's going to help you in the long term. But I think, like, as human beings, we need to be more empathetic of when people do choose to go the route of surgery and just not have as much judgment as to why people would choose to alter themselves. Because at the end of the day, it's really hard to live in this world. It's really hard to be human being. And if we can change something,
It's really hard to
it is. It's like everyone has their own struggles. Yes, some struggles are bigger than others, but if someone makes the choice to like alter something about themselves because that's gonna make them feel better, or not, or because they hope it's gonna make them feel better and it's gonna make their life easier, etc.
But what if that becomes their answer to everything?
I mean, that's another
No,
question
that's
altogether. That's another level.
I didn't like my
And I
nose,
think
and
it's
now I
scary
don't like
because
this.
I mean, but that's not always the
You know what I mean?
case. I mean, those are like botched extreme cases. But with most
It's in the
people,
same
it's
sense
this
because it's
particular
Though,
thing.
because you just put a band-aid on your issues, you didn't
But
fix.
you guys know it's like a trend now.
Yeah.
Body sculpting.
Yeah.
It's like the thing to do now. Every girl wants this.
Yeah, and I think
big ass, and
There's something wrong with a person
there's a
who
lot wrong.
aspires to things that they see on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, but those are
So
But
that's for me,
there are
like, you can be
people-
someone I know,
So
but
for
to
me,
date
when
you,
you ask if I would date, I would say no because I think there's a deeper issue. With that
exactly,
person.
yeah,
And that will never go away.
yeah.
Instagram will show a
no.
girl with a better
There's always gonna be
chest,
something.
and they'll want to get that because
Yeah.
they'll just always aspire to be.
I mean,
But I feel
something
like
they're
you
not.
guys are only like thinking of cosmetic surgery that is, oh, I want to look better. Whereas like some people will, have plastic surgery done because, not because of some girl they saw on Instagram or whatnot. I mean, I had a friend that like had the longest nose. And she was a gorgeous person, super confident, but like it was uncomfortable for her even. Because when she's sitting and like talking to you, like she can see the tip of her nose. Like,
Because they look at her like,
Okay, but that's
Yeah.
like a rare case, though.
That's
but
almost
there
like a
are
medical
a lot of
situation.
there are a lot of people who would get plastic surgery because it's like it's uncomfortable. They have situations that are just
Yeah.
or young girls who have extremely like in the States
Large
it's free.
breasts.
If you have extremely large breasts, I think over a cup I don't
That's
know.
like a
Causes
medical
back
issue,
problems.
'cause it
Yeah,
causes
I'm
back
not-
problems.
I'm not talking about
If
those
it's a
ones.
medical
Those
issue,
ones
then
make
yeah,
sense,
yeah.
but
Those
Okay,
people-
so
there are those that
those
don't
who
make
get
sense at all.
surgery out of, I don't want to say, but
Vanity.
vanity.
I mean, it's fair,
And not
but
a
humans
medical
are
issue.
vain, though.
Not
But we
Judgmental,
do.
but
But we do a lot of things because we are vain. We get our hair done
Yeah,
because
and
we're
that's-
vain.
Have you
We
seen makeup before?
work
and
out
after?
before
That's like
we're vain. We put
temporary
makeup on our
surgery.
faces because we're vain. We wear certain body like outfits because we're vain. And cosmetic surgery may seem like it's like a step further because there's like surgery involved. Sometimes it's life or death. There's a lot of risk, but it's just another level of vanity. And I think that I understand people's like hesitation because you have to understand someone's intention and it's all contextual. Like with some people, it can be an obsession. It can be a cure to like a deep level of insecurity and it's not really a cure, and so it's like a lifelong thing and people just fuck up their faces and like their bodies because they're not dealing with the real deep rooted issues that they have. And then for some reason it's like, you know what, I want to look better. I want to get my boobs done because I feel like this top is going to look better on me if my boobs were like a C cup. But we don't live in a society whereby even though we're incredibly vain, it's for some reason there's this like taboo against surgery. At least I would say still. There's certain circles. In some places it's not taboo anymore. It's very common spread. People can talk about it honestly, but then there's still this like, but I would say maybe in Tanzania it's still taboo because there's still this need to like be naturally something. There's still this aspiration to natural,
apart from that,
There you go.
it's a
which is a
different-
myth. Which is a myth within itself. And so I think there's a certain level of hypocrisy when we talk about our disdain for surgery. Like, that's not natural, that's not your natural ass, or that's not your natural waistline, or etc. And there's a lot of pride with women. I can say this body is natural, but there's a lot of people that are like, yes, this body is natural, no surgery, but we're all vain. It's just another.
I feel like you like brought up like such an interesting point because so the issue is we're all vain, but we're less likely to judge vanity that seems natural.
Yeah.
So for instance, like even with makeup, if you have like all these colors on your face and everybody's just like, oh my god,
She's
like,
doing the most.
and then you can have this like very subtle, but it's like a lot of layers of makeup. But then the end result is the natural look.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my god, like
Yes,
you look
really
so
well.
and I've
natural.
had that.
Barely
I've
wears
had
makeup.
people
And
do
you're
that.
like,
Yeah.
actually wore like 5 more layers.
But just it's technique.
Yeah, it's just technique. So, and there's things like that. Or like, okay, so there's butt implants and then there's squats. So, yes, that's not surgery, but you are
Enhanced.
changing
Yeah.
body composition.
That's exercise.
But that is not natural
it's
because
not
once you stop
natural.
doing it, it goes away.
But
Yeah.
squat is exercise. We honest. If you're doing it for that, and that's
Exactly.
that's
No, I'm
not gonna
a
treat someone-
byproduct.
Not
Sure,
gym
but
rat the
the
same as a
idea
guy.
behind
A
it.
good point though. Like it doesn't
The
matter
idea-
how
It's not your
you
natural
get
composition.
there.
Achieve the result.
Yeah.
You are trying to get this
But that's
To
fine.
get
body
something.
or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Well,
Unaenda
with-
hospitali
miezi
mwingine
miwili.
unaenda gym.
That ass is gone.
Hospitali-
It's gone,
Okay.
yeah.
So you can
Starts going
get someone
into
with that
it,
ass.
actually. It's like,
Yeah. Alafu anaona ni natural anafanya mazoezi, akaacha mazoezi sijui maisha.
But there's maintenance and
That
then
ass
getting
is
new
gone.
parts for the car.
But that ass, but changing weight, but taking your waist like fat and putting it in your ass. Still,
It's natural.
It's still your fat, and that ass will stay.
Yeah.
That ass
You
will
didn't get
stay
new
whether or
parts.
not you go to
And
the
then
gym
even
or not.
that,
It's
do
still
you
there.
watch
Yeah.
Dr. Miami,
I
right?
think I'm
They
I try
they
not
don't
to.
they don't add any. Come on, if you have like a fat ass, whatever, it's not shaped well, I guess.
Fat
you-
ass.
So
It's got a
they
fat
kind
transfer.
of reshape it. They
Yeah.
they don't add anything.
Yeah.
They just reshape it. So it's all natural, but it's
Reposition.
just
So
reshaped.
just moving
Yeah.
it around.
Like,
Yeah.
Reposition.
Well, it's the same with squats.
Yeah, reposition. So
Okay,
it's more or less
so-
the same way. Like it's like you're asking.
So why do we have?
Because you're
Would you
changing
change
the
the what?
structure of your
Okay, so
body.
I'll give you another example. What about someone like Tiny who changed the color of her eyes?
Okay, but that's like, but can we
With
also
surgery,
first
not
That is
contact.
right. I didn't
She's
change.
gray now.
I thought she was born like.
No,
Oh.
she's been like that for like 2 years.
But that's like an extreme case.
And she's a grown ass
I
woman.
didn't know you do that.
But it's an
I didn't know
extreme
either.
case because I think it's actually important that we like also internally deal with this fact. Like as he said, you can get your ass shaped, restructured. It's all natural versus you going to the gym and doing the same thing. But people are going to take that differently. So why is it that we take when somebody goes to a doctor to go like refigure their ass? They didn't add anything. There are no butt implants. But we'll give you the side eye because for some reason you cheated versus someone who went to the gym. Even
think
though it's
that's
the
not
same
even
level.
cheating.
I
I
think
feel like
they
for
can't afford
you
it,
it's
so
so
they're
important
Yeah,
that you would
it's
go
a
that
lot of
far.
effort for some.
I mean, but going to the gym is effort.
That's a very
What you mean?
If anything,
Working out is effort.
No, no,
Girl,
no, no, no,
Raising
no,
your
no,
body
no,
from
no,
like
no,
squats,
no,
get
no,
down
no.
six.
No, it is.
if I have the money, what you mean? Going to the gym is
It's
work.
not the same.
Yeah, but
No,
you
no.
get
But it's different kind of work.
Girl, back.
Listen, going to the gym,
Oh.
it has that bonus of
Your
your
health.
health and everything,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's much more work. That if your intention is not to get healthier, your intention
You just should have the fat ass.
to have a fat ass.
Eat
then
chicken.
You might as well go.
Fat ass.
to a
You
doctor.
get that.
If you can like
I think-
afford it, like you
Guys,
can go to
generally-
If you spend like just an hour on YouTube right now and Google like the most random things, because I used to be a little bit crazy about fitness at some point a long time ago. And one of the things a lot of women Google is how to get naturally looking hip dips.
What the fuck
I
is
was
it?
like,
What's
huh?
a hip
What's
dip?
a hip dip? What's a
that
hip
thing?
dip?
Yeah.
So apparently, yeah, like you know when you have like the hips that come out like this from the front,
Yeah.
but then because you lift so much weight and you have so much muscle, there should be that dip in the butt on the back,
Yeah.
which is not even attractive in my opinion. But anyways,
I don't even know what you're
I'm so lost.
what is that?
Can somebody
diagram.
stand
but
up?
see, it's those little things that people will care. Like it's not about working out
It's
to
about
get healthy. Like there's a channel that's just about growing your butt.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
You work
a
out to grow
whole
your
workout program for just growing your
You
butt. You
have
don't
the
even
same
sweat
impulses.
because all you're doing is lifting like, you know, you're just lifting weight for squat, same move every day. You're just building one thing. You're doing whatever, hip thrust, end of story. So it's like, I don't
Can I
see
twist
the
this a
health
little bit?
thing.
All right. I'm assuming, and sorry if I'm wrong, that as you women, you appreciate a muscular man or a fit man.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? Like, what does it symbolize to you?
Because he fine, but if he found a way to get the surgery and look like that, and I can't, like, it looks, yeah.
So doesn't it symbolize that he's maybe hardworking, he's strong?
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
No, he look fine. Like,
That's
yeah,
all
he
it is.
looks good.
So
The
if a
shirt
man
looks
can
nice
just
on
put
him.
back-
For
back-
me, it's like the shirt looks good on your body.
No, but
for you,
For you, it's
Like
just that.
Alan.
Not superficial.
for men,
No, I just
Listen,
want to
because if I
Yeah,
found
I'm not
out
thinking
that
about hardworking.
for men it's different because you
'Cause you're not
can't
gonna build a
build,
house.
you can't have a
Come on,
surgery.
then
No,
I
but like,
shall have
it's
surgery.
an attitude thing. It's on
They put them
But
on
that's
have
a strong
implants.
grip.
Yeah, those are
because-
implants now. That's different.
Take care.
What as I was saying, from there is you show Dr. Miami. It's who you are. They
Anyway,
just
now,
reshape
I'll go
you.
there.
You're not reshaped. You're being added some stuff. If they could reshape you to have abs and whatever,
No,
I
but
don't think that'll be a
that's a
problem.
Dr. Miami shirt.
But I know what you're
But there are
saying.
many different
That's a good
types of
question.
there are many different types of surgery. What I'm saying is, if I am willing to
Yeah.
go put things just to look a certain way, even though they don't really represent what I can do, or
Yeah,
I
on
can't
your
even
own.
lift you, but I look like I can.
Exactly, but
Okay,
it
I
looks
get what
good.
you're
Just so that you like.
But I was
Yeah.
gonna
That's a
ask,
very
but
deep-
but that's different.
Yeah,
No. All I was
The
trying
ass.
to get to is,
I get what
like,
you're saying.
as a man, I don't know. I'm just
Oh, the
not
biological
attracted to-
evolutionary
Yeah.
reasons
I'd
why
rather
we have
you
certain
come to
body
me
parts.
as a very secure, skinny person with no ass,
Exactly.
than to
Same.
come to me as this highly insecure person with a perfect body.
Exactly.
That's true,
understand?
yeah.
Absolutely.
That's-
But then
So
I
what
feel
is-
like also like comparing, just bringing up that example, you know, as a guy, and then with women like want that. I mean, we kind of also have to point out the fact that men are not as objectified as women in terms of, you know, just like these sexual things. That's what we are.
Yeah.
And we also
So-
don't objectify each other as much as y'all looked at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, the pressure is just like
Actually,
way
they
more.
say they
Yeah.
look good for each other. not
Yeah,
even
yeah,
for me.
it's more
Yeah,
for sure.
No offense, I'm not being this
Okay.
way.
I'm not gonna notice this type of shade
I'm that
you have
point in
on.
my life.
I want to make you bitches sweat.
But going back to like
Unless
his
it's a rap
point of,
song.
of that, as somebody being in your life, like they're coming in as insecure about their butt, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And you say that that's not like you won't date somebody who is not secure in their body. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
That's all I'm saying.
I
Okay,
agree.
That's what it would be for me too. I couldn't.
So and they choose the path of, you know, I wanna gym, I wanna go to the gym and work out to achieve this body because I don't like my body right now, as opposed to going to the surgery stuff. Would you date the person who's doing naturally than the person who is going to the?
Now, anyway, and I may be wrong, but I
In
feel
your
like
opinion,
that,
okay.
yeah, in my opinion, that person just wants to change something about herself, and they're just willing to work for it.
Yeah.
In terms of the result may come or may not come, but when you surgery, it's like
Yeah, I think
I hate
that's
this
the
title.
issue.
Like you understand?
That's the issue for people. The issue is the work aspect. I think that people have a lot more respect because it's
Yeah.
more
If you
relatable when
work for
someone
it.
quote unquote works for it.
Like,
I don't
yeah.
think it's necessarily fair.
I'll tell you this.
I-
If,
But
let's
there
say
is
my
a
wife,
culture.
my wife gets blessed with twins or triplets, and her stomach was this big, and after giving birth, she has this thing hanging, and she really tries, and it doesn't work. I would pay for her to get surgery.
No,
You
you see
understand?
that.
Like.
Listen,
Yeah, or she could pay for it. What I'm saying
It's
is I
a
would
push
support it.
gift.
That's
It's a
what I'm
push
saying.
gift.
I would support it. I
Yeah.
would support it to that level.
The female in your life to get
think,
Definitely. Yeah. She might watch
But
this.
if like you just don't work out, you're not healthy, and then you
Listen,
just want things to get
yeah,
cut off to look
I think
like
the issue that, you know, it's the issue that even the parents bring out, that we have stuff so easy these days, right? And I don't think we should have that mindset. If there's an option, if there's a safe option for you to look just as good as if you worked out in 6 months,
mean-
I think you should, and if you can afford it, you should use that. Think of it as the race that we are. We have evolved from walking to like a tire to a bicycle to a car. Somebody who was walking 500 years ago and he sees us driving will think we're so lazy. Why don't just walk to this place. The point that I'm making is like we have evolved.
But that was 500 years ago.
No, I agree.
We have evolved
But I
as
also
a human
disagree.
Jump
race.
to step.
Yeah.
Listen, we have evolved as human. If you can do something surgically,
We'll start looking
we,
like
without
aliens. very soon.
there's a
That's the
Sorry?
biggest problem. We'll start looking like aliens.
No.
very soon. If-
No,
if-
no,
And
no.
like she
if-
said about
if you
millennials,
can-
we just want it now. Like, that's the
Exactly.
problem. Like,
I mean-
nobody wants to work for it.
And I agree with you in terms of I think it's about intention. So if your intention is to be healthy, to feel good, to be in physical shape, and look good as a
Yeah.
byproduct, then yes, by
No,
all
but
means you
you
have
should
to eat well and work out and take care of yourself.
100%.
But if your intention is to have a fat ass or to have like a six pack for whoever, whatever your personal problems are or lack thereof, and surgery is like a route for you to do that and you can own up to it, that because then do that. Because I also think another issue in the general populace when it comes to like our disdain for people who have surgery is because maybe partly because it's still very taboo, but a lot of people are not forthcoming about it. So a lot, especially still in celebrity culture, a lot of people will be like, yes, I drank flat tummy tea to get this body, or I worked out with this trainer to get this body. And so, but the reality is that they went and that they had surgery. So I feel like if more people were also
Just came out and
just
said it.
open and were like, yeah, I wanted this body, I didn't want to go through this route, or this didn't work for me, and this is what I did.
Too busy
People
for
would
the
have
day.
more respect for that, because I think it's a lot of like the hypocrisy around surgery culture by people who wish they could do it, people who do it, and people who hate people that do it because naturally.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I don't know me, but I don't think you can get healthy by going to a surgery.
Absolutely, I agree. That's what I'm
I
saying.
think this a point was if your sole purpose was to get a nice ass.
Yeah, then get a
If
fight.
that
You
was
can
your
afford
sole
it.
purpose,
So you're alright.
Then go.
like if you can afford
Inject
to go to a doctor
then
and
from
have,
there,
without
yeah.
adding anything,
Yeah.
without any medical,
Complications.
yeah. If you can afford to do it, then just do
Do
that instead of trying it because he walked out, she walked out for it. So it means her is more natural than
We're trying
But
to-
I
than
think
somebody else's do. Because it doesn't make sense if you're all achieving the
I think
same goal.
we are
somebody
in the
just
same
using a-
page. We said the
a
exact
shortcut.
same thing.
No, I'm saying yeah, I'm
I feel
agreeing
like
with
we're
you.
not, we're not dealing with the inner issue of what it really is. Listen, a lot of things that we do in life usually mask out the inner pain or
Yeah.
mask out the inner issue you have. So a lot more people who go to the extreme sometimes generally cannot deal with it for themselves. And voicing it out is a much harder thing to do or trying to solve it. So for them, that is an easier escape towards what they can do. Things like the gym and all that's trying to fix something that you really are worried about. As in, generally, you find someone who has a regimen where they go to the gym, there's a deeper pain in it, or there's something that they're looking for in it.
Oh, they just want to be
That-
healthy.
That could be the thing they're looking for.
Health.
Yeah.
And they're willing to
Yeah.
work for
They're
it.
living
Yeah.
with it. So that's the thing.
They'll
But
account
with
for it in
surgery,
good
it's,
surgery.
it's an extreme. So the level of, let me call it inner insanity, that everyone has is very different. And we all deal with it very differently. And that's why I think individually we can agree or disagree, but there has to be a resolution in terms of how do you deal with that. And as a society, I don't think we actually deal with any issues that are inner pain. Most of us usually mask it out.
Yeah.
As in, most of our social issues arise from us not being able to deal with it. And you find an outlet, and that outlet to you makes a lot of sense. In this case, that outlet is surgery, and for them it makes the most sense. For them, it's shortcoming, it's the quickest fix, and it will work out. But they haven't fixed the issue. So if it's a society, if we agree to it, we better be ready for that kind of wormholes opening up in terms of there's gonna be a revolution towards it. That means it will be much more socially acceptable. That means you'll have the kids now waking up and going, I'm 12, mommy, I don't like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And that's
don't-
gonna happen. Yeah.
mommy, I don't like my lips. But your kid is 12, and you're like, you haven't grown up to anything. There is no one who wants you. Right now, you're too young to even think about it. But they're like, but this is what I want. Now, that is a door that no one ever wants
But
to
that's
open.
hap-
When you
that's
get there.
already
No,
happening.
someone
Beyond
said
even
that
like
her
the
mom let her
surgery
get
stuff,
surgery
like
when
if
she
you're
was
12,
15.
you're my child, whether you're a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. You
We're
kind of
getting
have
more
to.
open about it right now. These days, we're getting very open to actually
Yeah,
listen to
you
what
kind of
kids
have to
halfway.
listen to your
You
parents.
There's
If
a lot.
you're 18, do whatever you want. But if you're
But you're making us. But But he's saying that that we're getting there as societies across the world. And there are people who are already there, where that is very common. When you turn 15, 16, you get like your bar mitzvah, nose job in certain communities. You get your freaking boob job.
So primitive.
Incredibly so.
Going back to the question, how did I find out that she has surgery?
She told you.
No. I mean, like, because I'm thinking.
Let's try to see if that makes a difference.
No, yeah, I mean, like.
Or let me make
if I, no, because I'm.
Yeah,
This
but
is
she was going for a follow-up.
no, this is.
Now it's time
No,
to
this
go
is what I was thinking is like I meet this person, they've had surgery right, and I had no idea. For me, she looks at me and I'm none the wiser, and we go out a few days, it works out, it doesn't work out. You see what I'm getting at? I had no clue, but she had it. That's why I asked the question.
But,
I mean, I don't think that should matter.
Yeah.
What the?
Listen,
Why?
No, it could matter to somebody else.
Why?
Let me.
Because
let
it's
me
like,
give
I
a
think-
line.
because-
matters to me,
you
I'm
see?
sorry. It really
Because I think
Okay,
she
I'm
was
gonna
on that
give
pussy.
like
Not
one-
like, what else is underneath
Okay,
it?
so what is gonna
Let me give an example that kind of like might be like a little bit different, where the intention is there, but then there were different circumstances. So, say a woman is a single mom, okay, divorced her husband. She has like 3 kids, but then she's maybe in her early 40s. She works out. She's relatively healthy, but obviously after carrying 3 children, she has this saggy belly and
your
like
metabolism slows down.
yeah, your metabolism slows down. She has saggy boobs, and she's just like she's now divorced with this guy that she's known forever, whatever. And then she finds out that she has fibroids or something, right? So then they have to go in and remove her uterus or something, okay? Which happens to a lot of women.
Yeah.
But then she's already had kids. So she's like, it's not a big deal. I don't need a uterus. So they remove her uterus, but then she's just like, while I'm in there already, give me my mommy makeover.
Yeah.
I'm restarting
my
my life,
twins.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then she gets a breast lift, she gets a tummy tuck, whatever the mommy makeover puts together. So then, this lady, and she was already like healthy, whatever, in good shape. So comes back into the world, ready to like move on with her life. You meet her somewhere. She's this amazing woman, like you just, you can't even go to sleep, like you just keep thinking about her. You meet her again, something starts from there, and then you come to find out this little story.
When you say and then, like how long after?
Yeah.
Because I don't think women
No,
owe
I don't
you
think that's
that.
if you didn't, if I was
No,
if you
No,
didn't
now
tell
you're
me-
like dating. Now whatever, however
Like you're
long it
together
took, you're now
together.
together. Like
Because I don't think that is a story.
There you
You're
go.
even
No,
hanging
I
out with the
lied to
children.
And then I'm told.
Yeah.
Telling me later on.
It would be an issue, like why did you
Huh?
not mention
Now it
it?
doesn't.
Because
That's
I
where I'll be
didn't feel
like-
comfortable. Because there's certain things I don't think people are owed when you're not together. Like when you're just starting to meet someone, there's certain conversations that people are
I
just
feel
not
like it's like a
owed.
different.
It would raise a question.
No, I'm
Situation,
saying
right?
in that
Like,
case,
I don't-
it's not her insecurity that took her to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
She wasn't
nice.
gonna go for that, but
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she was going under the knife anyway.
Anyway.
she's like, okay.
But
might
I
as
don't
well.
think there's anything wrong with we all have insecurities, and I don't think there's even if she was in a place where she's like, you know what, I've been working out, it's not working. Like, let me go under the knife. Like, I don't see
But
the
let
problem.
me, this is how I see it.
Which is
Like,
cool. you
like
don't
in
have
that
to see the
example,
problem.
women who are 40, you've had 3 kids, having a saggy belly is the normal thing.
Yeah, and I don't
Men
necessarily
either need
feel
to
it.
accept that
Yeah.
Yeah.
or accept that women will do surgery, because I feel like we drive that as well.
But niggas
Yeah.
don't accept.
So I don't think girls who are 25 saying I have a belly,
Yeah, I
I
was
need to
saying more
go,
of our
because
generation.
that's where you were coming
Yeah.
from. That's not normal. And then when she's 30, she's like, I need to go get it redone.
Exactly.
Like,
you do have to-
But people have different bodies, though.
No, but
Yeah,
man, that's like either you are deeply
I agree. I
disturbed or whatever. Like you
Yeah.
just want to fix the physical
yeah.
to match
To the
something.
crux of it.
Instead
I
of dealing
agree.
with it.
I agree that there are a lot of people out there who get surgery and they're not addressing their real issues. Totally.
This was my favorite topic so far. Thank you, Iman, and everybody else for participating. Yes.
That's why you think.
And yeah, we'll see you next week. Thank you.
If you want to subscribe.
In the same clothes.